1871, the banks incorporated the United States and called the United States a corporation. And when they created the District of Columbia, what they did was they put that corporation in the District of Columbia, and they said that the members of Congress were actually managers of that corporation, and they said the President of the United States was actually the president of that corporation. So we're not living
got some people in there
in
say
the
coincidental,
in the
right?
country that we think we're living in. And what I've actually done is I have said that we are under something called state capture. And I have said that there is an interregnum. And if you look that word up, that means that we don't have a legitimate government. And when the founding fathers wrote this Constitution, they realized that the bankers were trying to pull a fast one on us.
It's time to wake up.
Hello, Jim Freedom, resident of Earth. I know what you're thinking. Oh boy, here comes that annoying freedom guy. It's coming up here to, I'm the guy that thinks the Constitution trumps your meeting rules. How silly of me, I know. I don't actually believe that, though. I'm more aligned with Lysander Spooner, who pointed out that the Constitution has either authorized such a government as we've had, or it's been powerless to prevent it. Either way, it's unfit to exist. We need something new. I do what I do just to prove that the supreme law of the land is a stupid joke and none of you follow its rules. We'll never be able to fix the problems in our society when our representatives don't play by the rules that we all thought were in place. To the people watching online or later, your anger is righteous and justified. The servants have written their own new rules that contradict freedom and use their army of order-following cowards with badges to punish enough of us effectively, making us their servants. Don't you dare walk across that street in a place we don't like. Don't you dare make certain noises with your mouth that we don't like. Don't you dare try to record public court proceedings. Don't you dare grow a food garden in your own front yard. Don't you dare assemble a protest in a way or place we don't like. Don't you dare travel in a vehicle without using a seatbelt. Don't you dare sell tamales without paying for our permission first. You see where I'm going with this? These are all violations of freedom that you all just think are normal and they're unacceptable. To a society that thinks that these threats are acceptable, that's a profoundly sick society. And Krishnamurti points out it's no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. The few good things that do come out of this building could be easily replaced by voluntary systems that don't require terrorism and revenue generating for funding. You can get your money through voluntary means. You don't have to do it through the traditional ways. Just because that's been the way we've been doing it forever doesn't mean we always have to do it. I'm here to suggest that you need to dig within yourselves, not you guys, everybody else, because I know you guys are just listening until I'm done so you can say thank you and then go on with your lives. Anyways, that's all I pretty much have to say with that. For the last minute, I just wanted to point out one thing that Corey said that I didn't like in a Facebook, it was a Facebook advertisement, and I quote, "Vaccines, getting vaccinated is what keeps us free to do the things we want," end quote. Can you hear how that sounds? Can you hear how messed up that sounds? I mean, I know that's off topic from everything else I had, but just the people in this room, they even pointed out the people said one thing about an issue and then you guys said 7-0 the other way. I mean, that's the way it is. You guys don't listen, you don't care. And I'm just here to voice that out so more people can be made aware of that, because as soon as we reach a critical mass of people that are aware of what's actually happening, then we can start to work on how to change it. Last thing I want to say is fuck your warnings.
All right. Now I'm going to be a little bit meaner than them, so please don't violate my rights. Normally, I wouldn't come to a city council meeting. I'm one of the county's pains in the ass. Historically, I stay out of the city and the city stays out of my business. It was a pretty decent arrangement. But then y'all sent me one of these tickets from one of your AI red light cameras you have deemed as necessary infrastructure in your city. Thing about this is I was in Seminole, Alabama at the time I allegedly ran this red light downtown. How can I be in two places at once, you ask? Don't worry, I asked myself that too. Outside of Scotty beaming me up 30 miles in an instant, the only logical conclusion is I wasn't there. These things have been deemed unconstitutional for this reason. Because the enforcement action of 316.0083 unduly shifts the burden of proof to the vehicle owner, me, to prove my innocence rather than the state having to prove my guilt. Currently, I'm guilty by default. I've been convicted by a computer program. Usually this whole mess of who committed the infraction is settled by a police officer pulling somebody over and actually witnessing them in the driver's seat. The AI camera doesn't do any driver verification whatsoever. To get your constitutionally mandated due process, you have to jump through hoops put up by Automated Enforcement Division, a private company in Orlando that's owned by another corporation called Novoa Global, which is owned by a Chilean-Swedish millionaire named Carlos Hofstedt. So not only does this process flow through a private company, our DMV records and personal registration information are accessible by a foreign actor. But anyway, AED sends you this paper, and if you want to fight this thing because you are wrongfully accused, me again, you can't just request a hearing through PPD or the courthouse. Remember, Carlos is involved, so if you have to go through his company, his website, print off his paper, fill it out with enough information to take out a home loan, have it notarized, mail it to the foreign actor, Carlos in Orlando, and then wait for something from someone to tell you about a hearing. This is undue burden even to begin to try to get some kind of due process. Paying is super easy though, go figure. And about that, you can't pay cash. PPD doesn't accept it, and neither does Carlos. According to 31 U.S.C. 5103, all U.S. currency and coins must be accepted for all government obligations, fines, fees, taxes, and due. So not only does this whole thing violate constitutional due process, it violates federal law by not accepting U.S. currency to satisfy a government action. Whoever thought this was a good idea is a self-loathing, America-hating, bureaucratic hobgoblin whose pockets probably got stacked with Carlos bucks. You got my attention, though. I'm going to become a more frequent voice down here working to expose frauds and petty tyrants. Congratulations, you all got yourselves a new pain in the ass.